in this video I'm going to show you eyeshadow blending brushes for advanced color blending, and I'm also going to show you how to use them while using different techniques and why you should use the blending brushes. Now, my name is Melissa van Dijk. I'm a professional and passionate makeup artist, so let's get started. First, you need to decide which eye makeup look you are going for. As with different blending brushes, they are there for different jobs. For example, you won't use the same blending brushes for a smoky cat eye makeup look that you would use for an everyday natural eye makeup look. And you have different blending brushes on purpose because some of the denser blending brushes are perfect for outer corner crease application, while other ones, typically larger fluffy brushes, are perfect to blend the color on the eyelid area. Which also directly brings me to the tools that you will need. As for today's eye makeup look, I'm going to start off with a larger blending brush. This is a fluffy one, and it's also a tapered one, but you also can use a domed one. Then we have a denser rounded blending brush. Then we have also a denser tapered blending brush, which also will follow up with a fluffier tapered blending brush. Then we have also a very petite tapered blending brush. Even though it's so small, it still is a blending brush. And lastly, we have also a rounded fluffy brush. And now let's get started with the first step, which is so important because this is preparing your eyelid area before you're putting on any eyeshadow. And this can either be with a primer or with a bit of concealer. Whatever you prefer, just go with it. And then also for step number 2, we are going to start off applying a very light shadow all over the eyelid area with the larger tapered blending brush. And for that, I'm also going to take a very soft shadow so that it won't nearly be noticeable, but it just will give you a beautiful blend later on with the other shadows. And so I'm going to dig into it just a tiny bit. If you need more, you always can add more. And then starting off with the entire eyelid area. Now, once you have applied the first shadow with the larger taper blending brush, then we also can move on to the next step, which is going for the dense rounded brush, which is a brush that's perfect for the crease and outer corner area. As it is a bit rounded, it will help you with blending as well as packing on the product a little bit more intensively so that it also will be noticeable. And so for that, I'm going to dig into the first shadow, which is also a brown shadow, and I'm going to start off with just a little bit, and if you need more, you always can go back into the color and then reapply it. And so once you have applied the crease shadow as well as also connected it with the outer third with the rounded dense blending brush, we now can move on to the next step, which is moving on to the lower lash line. And for that, I'm going to use the tapered blending brush, which is also dense. And I'm going to dig into the same shadow because I want to make sure that I'm going to connect those later on towards the outer corner. But with the tapered dense blending brush, what's important with this one is because it is tapered, it will give you a little bit more precision. And of course, with all the blending brushes, depends on what look you're going for. You always can move them around and use them for different purposes. It all depends on the finish you want to reach. And now once you have also applied the same shadow which we used above on the lower lash line, we now can move on to the next blending brush, which is the tapered blending brush. And this one is a fluffier brush where we are going to dig into a little bit more of a lighter shade to help diffuse the dark brown. And so with the tapered brush again, if you want to do a little bit more of a specific job because of its tapered shape, then always go with a tapered blending brush. And so now once you have applied your shadow with the tapered blending brush, which is the fluffier one, we now can move on to the next step, which is applying the shadow on the main lid area. Now with this step I'm going to use my finger mainly, but I'm also going to use the Petite very tapered blending brush, which is going to help me towards the corners, as well as making sure that all those shadows are melting into each other. And so for that I'm going to dig into the orange shade, which I'm going to apply on my main lid area, and then later on using the brush as well. And so now for the inner corner I'm going to use the Petite tapered blending brush, which will help me to bring the shadow towards the inner corner. And so once you have applied also the main lid shadow, also with the help of the little one, then we can also move on to blending the colors in general. And for that I'm also going to use the rounded fluffier blending brush, which will help me to diffuse the color in general, which I don't need to be very specific. And for that I'm also going to use a very light shadow, and which is the white one right here. And then I'm going to soften the edges. And so now once you have blended the edges and you faded everything just a tiny bit and melted all the colors into each other with the rounded blending brush, then we now can move on towards the inner corner. And for that I'm going to use the same little tapered blending brush which helped me for the inner corner application. And I'm just going to clean the brush a tiny bit. And to make sure that the color is going to pop, I'm also going to add it a little bit into water, which you can do if you want to intensify a shadow. And then digging into the highlighting shade, which is this one right here. So basically the same that I've used for the very beginning to make sure that I have an even application going on. And then just focusing it towards the inner corner and if you like to the brow bone as well. And so now once you have applied the highlighter, we now can move on to the last step, which is not including a blending brush, but it includes a little bit of mascara, which you then can also apply to your lashes to finish your look. And here you can see the close-up with the finished look, and as you can see I blended the colors perfectly together by using the different blending brushes. And I also do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, that you can follow the steps and now know how you can use different blending brushes for yourself. And with that being said, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it, as this is an independent channel. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!